What's up, tech heads and gamers? It's your boy Mel, E to Z to the E. Welcome to the channel where we respect the tech and we salute the gamers and we say, come on, let's get right into it. So, today we're doing a podcast. Sorry, took a little bit longer than I said I was going to take. I know I said I was going to start this around 9:30. But y'all know the drill with the kiddos. When you want to do something, they never want to, just cooperate. So they are finally down. So the wife is going to watch The Avengers. Kiddos sleeping. So I'm like, yeah, I got some free time. So let me just kick it with y'all. Have a good time and chill. So uh, it's really funny. Like I couldn't think of what to call this stream. I was like thinking, like, yo, do you even have anything to talk about? Like, why are you gonna do a podcast? But this was the first title that came to mind, like the Google Stadia. And how like no one is really giving this news. Everyone's like putting this down. So I was like, you know what? This might be a good topic. I'm curious to know what some of you guys think about the Google Stadia. So yeah, so we are gonna discuss that in this podcast. So just give me a second. Just make sure I got this all. Alright. Hear myself sound alright. Yo, Lambo, what is good? K Dog Gaming, what's up? What is going on? Doing a podcast, man, late, bro. Yo, yeah, this is not late, yo. I normally run my podcast even later than this. I used to start it at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, but I'm a night owl, night rider. We on late at night, yo. My stream used to be starting at like 12 a.m., bro. Like that's just what we do here. But um, yo, see y'all. What's good? What's good? So y'all can see him back in that location. Um, find a little cold right now, so if I sound a little off, just know that's why. But my mic should sound good. The camera should look good. So yeah, yo, just thought, well, next time. All right, cool, cool. See ya. Where you at? Are you in Cali, right? From what I remember, I think you said you're a Cali dude, right? Let me know. Let me know. I'm in Oregon, so it's still early for us, yo. It's only 10:22, bro. Yo, Grosk, welcome back, dude. Welcome back. So yo, I can drive the yo, yo, you, you, son, yo, you can handle this Jeep, bro. You can't handle this Jeep. Let me tell you, yo, this Jeep got torque, bro. This Jeep got torque, man. I enlisted this Jeep for the next Fast and Furious movie, and they said, nah, this Jeep is way too fast for it, yo. Straight up. The reason why it's in here is because I can take it out. I can't take it out to, driving the streets, bro. Every time I bring it out, I get a ticket, you know? Just it's way too fast for them peeps out there. For sure. Give me that. Yeah, yeah, y'all are very observant of, of what's in this room, bro. That's what's up. Too fast. It's too fast. It's too fast, man. People can't handle this Jeep, bro. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Yeah, his voice changed. Yeah, it's this code I'm fighting, man. This code just, you know, my daughter went to school, right? Eh, this a heads up for y'all, future parents, yo. When your daughter goes to school and she comes home with a slight, like, runny nose, just know that your week, your next couple of week is going to be miserable because she caught something from school. She's going to pass it to you or your spouse, and then y'all going to pass it. This cold has been in this household for almost a month. Like, we saw her get this cold from school. She was fine. We took her to school, dropped her off, picked her up. She had a runny nose. Gave it to the little one. He gave it to the wife. The wife gave it to me, and now she has it again. So it's like it's an ongoing, like passing the baton of sickness, and I'm sick of it, yo. I'm sick of it. West Coast. I mean the West Coast of Canada. Alright, cool. Got you. See on my bed. I'm sick and still going to school. Oh shit. Oh man, you mad lad. But yo, let's talk about the Stadia. And look at this kid moving. Look at him. Look at him. He's moving. You better go back to sleep, kid. Look at this kid. Oh my goodness. You better go back to sleep, bro. Alright. Sorry, y'all. Watching that camera hard, bro. Alright. It's not moving. I like I was saying, let's go back to Stadia real quick. Read the title. Oh shoot! You said read the title. Stadia is trash. Yo, let's talk about this though. Um, for real, for real. I feel like next gen is gonna be really interesting, and the reason I say this is because um I feel like the course of gaming is gonna change, and y'all might, you know, think I'm crazy for saying this, but mark this day down, May 4th, 2019, at 10:26 p.m. Ace is talking to you guys about this. Mark this down. So when that happens, you can say I told you so. I feel like the course of gaming is gonna change in the next 5 to 10 years. The typical players that we see now, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, um, I feel like in the next 5 to 10 years, these companies might not be the pioneers of gaming. Again, call me crazy. Um, I see Microsoft staying, but I see Sony and Nintendo, possibly Nintendo staying, but Sony struggling. The reason I say this is not because Sony cannot make games. It's not because Sony cannot provide, a decent system. But I'm talking about we are about to experience juggernauts coming to this market. As you guys know, there's talks of Google with Stadia. You guys have seen Stadia. These talks of Amazon creating their own platform. And as you guys know, Microsoft is currently working on theirs as well. So call me crazy when I say this, but the future of gaming is streaming. You guys might not like to hear that. I watch all these other YouTubers, Spawn Wave, Spawn Cast, Play Essence, Dreamcast guys, and those guys are collectors, right? They like to buy the games physically, and some of you guys might be as well. They like to buy the game physically so they can have it displayed and, like the limited bundles. It's something that they can say, hey, look, I was one of the few people that have this, da 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 da, right? That's all good and all, but honestly speaking, I feel like the future is digital. All right, comparison I'm gonna give you guys, right? Some people still purchase DVDs, some people still purchase Blu-ray movies. Great. But look at what Netflix has done to Blockbuster and Hollywood videos. Okay? Netflix, the technology of Netflix has changed the landscape of the way people view videos and movies. They've put big companies out of business. Think about that for a second, y'all. They've put big companies out of business. Okay. Now imagine with gaming. I think GameStop it's in a lot of trouble. And I think they know this. They haven't found a system to rival the onslaught that's gonna happen when streaming becomes mainstream. Okay? So remember when I said Sony might be in trouble, right? Nintendo, I feel like they've figured out the future of gaming, which is okay. So I'm gonna again let me see what you guys are saying. I'm gonna get a lot of hate with this because again, you guys might think I'm crazy with this, but I've been a guy who has been following tech for a long time, and hopefully the end of this podcast makes sense, right? So again, I feel like Nintendo has figured out at this moment a problem um when it comes to gaming with the Switch, right? You know, back then people were saying video games are dead. You know, they were saying like mobile gaming is the future, right? The reason why people were saying that back in days was because um the accessibility of screens, right? Everyone has a smartphone, everyone has tablets, right? And so just the simplicity of just always having your smartphone and being able to game on a device that you have with you 24/7. This kid is making noise. What is going on? It's crazy. He sleeps through the night, and the only time I'm streaming, he's making noise. Anyway, he's still sleeping. But you look like he's so. Yo, I'm telling you guys. All right, sir. This Nintendo stream too. I feel like I'm gonna come pretty much next spot. Yo, alright, so get this, right? People were saying this is what's the future of gaming, right? Because again, everyone has it. Everyone can pull this up and play game. The simplicity, the the easiness of just you always have this with you and you can play games with on this whenever you want was what was concerning the gaming industry. And I feel like the Switch solved that problem because number one, this is very portable, and then the switching aspect of it, being able to play anywhere you want and then dock it at home and then take it with you on the go, kind of put a band-aid on that solution, right? I don't agree that this is the long-term solution. I agree that it's solved that like issue of, you know, I'm trying to word this correctly. That issue of the portability aspect that smartphone was meeting for people, having this with you everywhere, being able to play games at home wherever you want to play it. Okay. So again, I feel like the Switch right now has solved that problem for a lot of people, right? But again, it's a band-aid for that problem. The issue is the Switch is not strong enough for AAA gaming, right? yeah, there's some, look at Hellblade and whatever that game is called. It runs okay, Mortal Kombat runs good, but the truth is, like, if you want AAA games, you can't count on the Switch for that because the hardware is just not powerful enough. Okay? Fast forward to the future, if you're looking at streaming services, right? They can provide that for you. So GeForce Now is an NVIDIA cloud storage streaming service, just like Stadia is going to be, and it's available now. It's in beta and you guys can try that out. So I've been a current GeForce Now owner for about a year. So I've been using the service for a while, and this is why I'm preaching about Stadia being a really big competitor, because it works. I have GeForce Now on my tablet. I have it at my Nvidia Shield at home, and just being able to play AAA titles on any device that you want at any time, at anywhere, is so freeing, and it it works already with GeForce Now. Now, as you guys know, Google has one of the biggest infrastructure when it comes to just cloud storage, like streaming. They have one of the biggest infrastructure, and so does Amazon too. And if you guys didn't know, GeForce Now is using Amazon's cloud infrastructure as well. The third company that has the biggest is Microsoft. So again, these three juggernauts are three companies that you guys should be mindful of when it comes to the future of gaming, because they have three of the biggest infrastructure to do this. Now, in order to do something like this, in order for it to be successful, you need to have an infrastructure like that. Okay. And so, not Sony, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft are pretty much the only three companies that have the bandwidth and the infrastructure to pull something like this off. Okay. So that's that. What up, T Mac? I still don't know exactly how Stadia works. So the way Stadia works, just to clarify this, pretty much it's all in the cloud, right? If you've seen some videos on GeForce Now, okay, that I've made about GeForce Now. So it's like Netflix, right? The way GeForce Now works is kind of like Netflix. If you have the game on Steam, you're pretty much paying NVIDIA to use their server to play that game anywhere you want. Okay, so all you have to do, I'm just comparing Stadia to GeForce Now because it's pretty much the same thing. All you have to do is have the Stadia app or the GeForce Now app installed on your phone, on your home device, wherever. You open up that app and then you have access to all your games on Steam, right? So Stadia, they're gonna have their own catalog. We don't know how Google is going to price it. If you have to pay for like a monthly subscription, GeForce Now, people were saying it might be like a monthly subscription, like Netflix. You're paying like $7.99, and you have access to play all those games on the service. So pretty much, you purchase a game on Steam, you have that game, and then you pay per month, and then you can watch those. You can play those games on either Google server or Nvidia server. So that's what GeForce Now is. You have access to all your Steam PC games on Google server, and then you can play it on any device as long as you're paying the monthly fee, kind of like Netflix, $7.99. You have access to all those games. So you're streaming those games. It's all in the cloud, and you're streaming it on any device. I don't know if that makes sense. What if, yeah, you need internet connections, kind of like Netflix. If you don't have internet connection, you can't play those games. Kind of like Netflix, if you don't have internet connection, you can watch movies. So people like, oh, this sucks. I'm gonna need internet to always play my games. The truth of the matter is, you're gonna need internet to watch Netflix. You're gonna need internet to watch YouTube. I mean, anytime you want to watch YouTube, Netflix, you need internet. So if you always have internet to do those things, you're gonna have internet to play Stadia. Um, anyway, I personally, again, believe that's the future of gaming. And if you ask any analyst, gaming expert, Michael Patcher has talked about this, they tell you that's what the future of gaming is going to be. That's why people like GameStop, if they can't figure out this coming up in the next couple of years, they're going to be in a lot of trouble because, they're going to be those diehards that want physical copies of games. They're still going to be buying games, but people are going to shift. I mean, look at the eShop. They're saying a lot more people are purchasing game on the eShop than they are buying physical copies of the game. The future is digital, and I know some people hate that, especially like collectors, but that's just the reality of things. All right, so the reason I say Sony's in trouble is if you look at Sony, and I'll cast my screen to you guys to show you this. I bet my life this Stadia will flop. I'm confident. I'm gonna prove you wrong in that, Gross. I'm gonna show you why. Okay. That's great though. I like that. I like that discussion. But let me show you guys some real quick. Let me share my screen with y'all and show you guys some. This is why. Um. Again, mark this day down because I want for people to come back if this does that, if this happens to be true, you guys can um be like, yo, this dude on May 4th talked about this, like I can see the future kind of deal. But anyway, hopefully you guys can see what I'm saying, right? Let's do this real quick. Sony's stock. That might sound again like a crazy guy, but I'm gonna tell you why though. All right, y'all can see this, hopefully, right? All right, cool. Yeah, you guys can see this. So this is Sony stock, right? All right, where we at? Where we at? Market cap is 66.42 billion. Okay. All right. So you guys know, Sony is not just a video game company. They make stuff like cameras. They make stuff. They used to make the Walkman. They make TVs, Sony Bravia TVs. They used to make Sony Bio laptop, but they closed that down because they weren't doing good. They used to make smartphones, but they closed that department down. What is keeping Sony afloat is the success of the PlayStation. That is the only thing that's keeping Sony afloat. All the other divisions are not doing as hot as the PlayStation, right? So the PlayStation, you can say, is Sony's bread and butter. So in that case, you might as well call Sony a video game company, right? Because the bread and butter is like Nintendo. What is making them money, what is giving them revenue is the gaming department. All right. So again, the market cap 6.2 billion. Okay, let's look at Nintendo. Okay, look at Nintendo stock. Okay, 45. It's not showcasing the market cap here for some reason, but I would assume last time I checked it, it was around like 40 something to 50 billion as well. So Nintendo and Sony are neck to neck, right, when it comes to market cap and how well that they're doing. Again, I would consider Sony and Nintendo the bread and butter being video games, right? Okay, so if their video game division is not doing well, guess what? Sony can go out of business. Just being real, and so can Nintendo. They rely heavily on video games to stay afloat. That's the bread and butter. Okay. Now let's take a look at a company like Microsoft. Okay. Look at the stock real quick. Excuse me. They have 987.74 billion market cap. They're about to hit 1 trillion, right? Apple, let me show you Apple stock, right? So Apple, Microsoft has more market cap than Apple does. Okay? All right. And let's look at Google, right? Google stock. Google is sitting at 824.5 billion market cap. Okay, they're not doing so hot. They didn't meet their what is it? Their financial revenue for this quarter, and so that's why they're not looking at. But even still, they have 824 billion market cap. If you guys didn't know what market cap is, it's pretty much like what they have, and I might be butchering this, but it's pretty much like what they have. Like if the stock is doing well, they build up market cap. It shows the health and the strength of how a company is doing. And if you can look at Facebook too, and this is another um company that can potentially join the race. They don't have that infrastructure when it comes to um they don't have that infrastructure when it comes to like Google does and Amazon and Microsoft with powering a cloud service. But Facebook, they can invest because they do have the money. But they're not, as far as we know, we haven't heard anything about them getting the video game race. But anyway, market cap 557. So compare that to Nintendo and Sony's. Blow them out of the water, right? All right, let's look. We looked at Google. We looked at. Let's check out Amazon. Stock. Sorry. All right. Also, 906. So all these companies, big companies, are up there in billions, right? So, guys, what I'm trying to show you guys right here is these three companies have the money to throw at this, right? If they come at this, they come in hard. They're not, Sony. Sony cannot compete. Nintendo cannot compete with these companies when it comes to dollar for dollar, buying exclusive, paying for infrastructure. They can't compete with these companies. They just don't have that money to do so like this company does. And these talks about Amazon making theirs, Google already has shown theirs, and they said they have more. And Google I/O is next Tuesday, so we'll probably see more of Stadia at Google I/O. And as you guys know, Microsoft is currently working on theirs. They're gonna unveil more of it in E3, and then they have that only um digital console that they just came out with, and they announced, and people are saying that service is gonna run on there as well. Um, Craziness, right? Again, you guys might think I'm crazy, but um hopefully by seeing that you guys understand the seriousness that can happen if these major juggernauts throw money at this, right? It's just they have the money to do so. Yo, Jason, what is good? I'm watching Endgame tomorrow. Yeah, my wife is actually watching it now. Nintendo needs more good online games. True. Hey, still playing 2K? So yeah, Jason, for sure. I'm always in 2K. Nintendo has Marisa, and boom, I like that, Gross. I'm gonna come to that. I'm gonna come chill. I'm just a kid. I can't handle. Sorry, CL. All right, so and I'm glad you said that, Gross. That was my next point. So when it comes to exclusive, right? Sony and Nintendo hands down, like, are king. I feel like that's what kept the PS4 afloat this generation. They just came banging, banging, banging with exclusive. You got God of War. You got what was that other game? Jeez, I'm drawing a blank. The Horizon Zero Dawn. We still have The Last of Us 2 coming out. We have Ghost of whatever that game is called. We have Days Gone. So exclusive wise, Sony and Nintendo cannot be beat. Hands down, cannot be beat. But what if I told you money can buy exclusives, right? What would you say then? Right? Sony has had a great track records with building great games throughout generations from PS1 to PS4, right? But what if I told you money can buy great exclusives? If you guys looked at the Xbox 360, one of the things that Microsoft did well to compete with Sony is they went hands on with exclusives. They paid for exclusive, they paid for to get, and Sony did it different with the PS4 because they saw Microsoft doing that. They paid most third party publishers to get exclusive right or exclusive content for their games with the Xbox 360. And as you guys know, the Xbox 360 was Microsoft's most successful gaming console. People are saying that with the Xbox One, Microsoft kind of left took their foot off the pedal a little bit and they didn't go as ham as Sony did with exclusive. But that's changing this generation because Microsoft is taking gaming very seriously again. As you guys saw with the last E3 conference, they bought the people that made um what's the name of that game? I just talked about it. Hellblade, right? They are now an exclusive company to Microsoft. They bought them out, right? They bought a lot of other great third party developers to become Microsoft first party studios now. As you guys know, back in 360 era, they bought Rare, makers of Banjo Kazooie and Killer Instinct. They bought a lot of and Perfect Dark Zero. They bought a lot of these companies. The only company that Microsoft had was Bungie, and the people that made the Forza. But they bought all these other companies, and they are being really, really aggressive this generation with buying out more exclusive, like more companies to get those exclusive games on the platform for the next generation. Yes, Sony and Nintendo right now has good exclusive, but exclusives can be bought, and I feel like Microsoft is getting really aggressive. And if you guys didn't know, with Stadia, Phil Harrison is the CEO. He's leading the charge for Stadia. If you guys don't know who Phil Harrison is, he used to be the president for Sony in the PS2 era when they were hot as hell. He used to be the president for the Europe division for Sony, and then after he left Sony, he went and he worked for Microsoft, and now he works for Google, and he's leading the charge for Stadia. So it's not like Google, you know, don't have someone who knows what the hell they're doing. This guy worked for Sony when PS2 was taken off and was the hottest on system, and then went to Xbox and worked for Microsoft, and now he's leading charge for Stadia. And then the creator of Assassin's Creed, I forgot her name, but she's leading charge of the gaming division. So if you guys didn't know, Stadia is going to have a first party studio that's going to be creating games specifically for Stadia. Just like how Sony has a first party studio, the people that make God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Guerrilla Games, those are considered first party studio. So Stadia is going to have their own first party studio, and they're going to be making exclusive games for Stadia that's not going to be available for any other console. And the lady who's leading charge of that department was the lady who created Assassin's Creed. Okay. So when it comes to Stadia, Google just did not hire a bunch of nobodies that don't know what they're doing. They hired people who have successful track record of doing this and doing it well. So again, you have Phil Harrison leading charge of this whole Stadia drive and movement, and then you have the creator of Assassin's Creed leading the charge of the first party studio. I mean, if that doesn't tell you that Google is serious about Stadia being successful, then think again. Okay, so that's just Google. And you guys know Microsoft is also making theirs, and they're going to be a big play. And you know, Microsoft is going out the wazoo to purchase studios right now. You saw the last E3. I mean, how many companies did they show that they bought? I think it's like 5 to 8 new first party studios, and there's talks about them having more um acquisition that they're going to announce this E3 too. So they're not playing around too. So that's two of the big companies that have revealed, what they're working on. We still haven't heard from Amazon. We know that they're working on theirs. They haven't announced anything yet. So they're going to be really aggressive to with publishers and games and exclusive and stuff like that. And then this talks again about Facebook joining and potential Apple joining. As you guys saw with the market cap, they do have the money to buy exclusive and get this stuff up and running. So y'all, I'm telling you guys might again think I'm crazy. I know like nothing with businesses. Yeah, I mean, I have my undergrad in business. I study this stuff and I find it fascinating and I really enjoy it. So that's why I'm like really um involved, and I really, know this stuff because I'm really interested in stuff like this. But anyway, it's gonna be real. It's you crazy. It's gonna be really, really interesting, y'all. It's gonna be really interesting. The thing with business, um, the thing with business is the landscape is always changing. It's always changing. If somebody would have told you 10 years ago that a company like Netflix is gonna come and change the game for watching movies, purchasing movies, and stuff like that, you were like, hell no. Blockbuster's not going anywhere. Hollywood videos is not going anywhere. Like, what are you talking about? Sales of DVD and Blu ray is not going anywhere. But forward to the future, those companies are out of business. Out of business. They don't exist. Because again, technology is changing. Yo, Supreme, what's good? I'm telling you, forward 10 years from now, remember this podcast, remember this conversation. The landscape of gaming is going to change, whether we want to accept it or not. It's the reality of things. And it's going to be flipping interesting. I'm going to tell you what I'm looking forward to personally, right? One of the reasons why I love this device, the Switch, is the portability aspect, the portability factor of it. Just being, I have a PS4 here, and Sunny and ECM will attest to you. The Division 2 came out. I played that game hard for a week, but I haven't touched it. It's PS4. I don't know if you guys can see. It's my PS4. I haven't touched it. I don't. like have the desire to put this thing on and sit in front of TV and play my PS4. I just don't have the desire. I have a PS4 Pro in the living room too. I just I don't have the desire to always turn this on, get myself ready just to play a game, right? But why I'm on my Switch more, I'm playing Final Fantasy X, guys. A game that I've beaten like 3 times, but I'm playing it on my Switch. The why I love the Switch so much is just the portability factor and aspect. I mean, being a dad, being a working man, always on the go, always, you know, don't have a lot of time to sit down, put on my TV, 10, 4K, blah, blah, blah. Don't have time for that. But if the kids are sleeping, I can just put on my Switch, play a little game, turn it off whenever. That's awesome. The Stadia, you always have access to your phone. As long as you have the controller, you can just dock your phone to it and you can play. As long as you have access to this and you have access to a controller, that pretty much you can just clip on this, open and close it, and this becomes a switch. As long as you can put the controller to this becomes your switch, right? The Stadia service makes this a switch, it makes this a portable gaming device to where you can play it anywhere, right? As long as you have the controller, right? So just think you traveling, you always have this. Just bring your controller, right? Play AAA games on the go anywhere. And Google has the infrastructure to do that. Again, there's 3 companies that have that infrastructure: Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. So if anybody can pull this off, it's those 3 companies. That is the reality of what is getting me really excited. Being able to play games on any screen, anywhere, at any time has me excited. The kiddo was sleeping today and the Rockets game was going on. I was like, shoot, I don't have access to a TV. I'm missing the game. I gotta put the kiddo to sleep. And I was like, oh, no problem. You know why? I have YouTube TV. I open YouTube TV and bada boom, the game is right there. Rockets versus the Warriors. I open the game up and from my phone, I'm watching the Warriors game on my phone. I'm not missing a beat of the game. That is the future, guys. Think this gaming wise. Okay? You in your living room playing a video game, you have to go somewhere, right? Shoot, I can't finish this game. You take your phone, you exit the door, you grab your controller with you, you dock your controller in this, and you continue gaming when you walk out the door. That is the future. People might not want to accept it, collectors might not like it, but that's where we're heading to, y'all. And to me, as a father, and as someone who likes the freedom, the portability aspect of gaming, I think this can be really successful. So, why I say Sony's in trouble is because if they cannot adapt to these 3 big companies coming in, the video game division is what is making them, is keeping them afloat. So if they miss this boat of online gaming and streaming, no matter how great a first party exclusive they have, business is business, they will be in trouble. I mean, if someone would have told Blockbuster that there's a streaming service coming that is going to make watching movies very simple, they probably would have been like, what the hell are you talking about? but Netflix came and changed the game. It's business, it's technology, it's always evolving, and companies have got to adapt or they are going to get left behind. So I hope Sony can figure this out. They made an investment um, with a company called Genkai a while ago, and that's what is like leading the charge for the PlayStation Now movement, which is pretty much their version of the online streaming. But as you guys know, they are so behind. They have just a couple of PS4 titles on there. They have a lot of PS3 titles, but these rumors and talks about them, progressing that and bring that to the PS5. My problem with that is PlayStation Now sucks. Just being real, Sony does not have that infrastructure that Google, Amazon, or Microsoft has. So it's either they pay Amazon for licensure, like Nvidia is doing, to use their infrastructure, um, or they invest heavily. I mean, to build their own app. But again, as you guys see, they don't have the money to compete on that level. So Nintendo and the Switch can continue the success because they put a plaster. I keep telling Ace that compare movies to game isn't fair. Movies don't take long to buffer as games. Yo, Grosk, I'm glad you said that. That's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. You need a high infrastructure to do what you know like Google is saying. Consoles still good for at least 5 years. Yeah, Sunny, 5 to 10 years. I gave that window, but I'm telling you, like I say in 5 years, there's gonna be changes, bro. Like the fact that is in this race, and we know Amazon is working on this race. Like it's happening. It's not just a thing that people are speculating. It's happening. It's Google said by this year Stadia is going to be available. It's here. It's here. It's not just speculation anymore. So, yo, Nick, what is good? Um, but it's here, y'all, and you can't deny that fact. And again, these three companies, I believe, have the infrastructure. Like I was saying, Sony and Genkai, they give a bad taste of this. GeForce Now is using the Amazon structure, but it's not that great of a service. But again, if anyone can pull this off, it's these three big companies where they'll make streaming games like it'll be more fluid than what you're actually used to. And I feel like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have the infrastructure to do so. So again, call me crazy, y'all. Call me crazy. I'll take it. But come back to this podcast in about 5 to 10 years and see if I'm right. See if I'm right. If it becomes me, as you say, I doubt they'll be able to keep it out with the millions. Yo, that's what I'm saying. They have the infrastructure to do so. I mean, think of Google. Think of Google. Google Drive, for instance. It's the cloud storage. I have Google Drive. I have 1 terabyte in Google Drive, right? And I have all my movies. I have all my movies stored on Google Drive. I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure. But anyway, I do. And I can stream those movies anytime I want. I know you're saying movies that's different from gaming, but think about the millions of people that have Google Drive that is currently streaming stuff, and not just Google Drive. All of Google's service is all in the cloud, like Gmail's all in the cloud. Google Docs is all in the cloud. All that is cloud storage, cloud spacing. Think about that though, right? Millions of people using those service, and there's not a single hiccup issue. That's because Google has the infrastructure to keep those things going, and the infrastructure is already there. So imagine gaming they can pull this off. Again, three companies that I believe can be successful with this, and that's Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, because they have that infrastructure. Anyway, this is a long podcast talking about this, but I just want y'all to come back to this video. Like in I, I would even say by the end of this year after Stadia is released. I I didn't even mention this. I'm gonna streaming is the future for games, but it's not happening for a bit because we don't even have a good mobile internet. Yeah, like I said, 5G isn't here yet, and 5G couldn't come close to stream. True, true. Um, Something Google stated with Stadia. They talked about manipulating the feedback, the response time. So they said like one on one, it's impossible to mimic, like the one to one action, but they said they've done a good job to manipulate it. Meaning like to trick the system to think that it's like one to one. Again, y'all, I think even not even 5 years, at the end of the year, Stadia will be in people's hands and they can try this out. And I feel like people will be blown away by the response time and how accurate the response time is. Again, because Google has that infrastructure. And I'm gonna just kind of end this conversation with this. People like, why would anyone use Stadia? So YouTube is really interesting. Like I talked to you guys about, YouTube is full. I'm gonna wait outside the store for a moment. So YouTube, it's about content. If you're a content creator, right? If you're a content creator, you want the hottest content. All right. It's so interesting. If you guys follow Play Essence, sorry, I have a cold, so it's hard for me to talk. He covers Nintendo Switch news and stuff like that. He does what Spunwave or Spuncast, whatever, and RGT, whatever. All these people, he does the same thing, similar. Like whenever news comes, he posts a video. He hates VR. He talks so poorly about PlayStation VR. He made fun of people for owning PlayStation VR, right? And I was watching one of his streams, and he was like, oh, I don't. He said this. I don't really like VR, but what do you know? I'm a content creator, so of course I'm gonna get it. Those were his words, right? He hates VR, but he knows that people are gonna be interested in Nintendo VR, and so he said he was gonna get it just to create content for his channel, right? Remember that YouTube is content creators, right? They want to create content, right? The way Google have has Stadia is pretty much is focused on YouTube. Google knows a lot of people who view YouTube watch games on YouTube, right? So they want to target content creators um who pretty much cover games, right? They see Amazon as a threat. They see Twitch as a threat because Amazon owns Twitch, and Amazon again is another one of the big threes that is rumored to be working on a similar service. So they're trying, I personally feel like they're trying to beat Amazon to that punch. And when Amazon does, Twitch is going to be heavily incorporated in that streaming service as well. So Google owns YouTube, right? Stadia is geared towards YouTube. So pretty much you can be streaming the game, have a link to the game on your channel. People can click on the game and play with you instantly on your channel. Just think about content creators on YouTube using this service because it makes it simple to get more views, simple for your community to join and play with you. Honestly speaking, if I was still streaming, I would get 2K19 on Stadia. The reason I say this is because you guys don't have to buy a new system to play with me. You guys can play with me on your cell phones, right? You get what I'm saying here? So all you would have to do is pay $7.99 like you do for Netflix, right? And purchase 2K for $59.99 on Stadia, and you guys can play with me. You guys don't have to go out there and buy a $300 Switch console and then buy a game, a $60 game to play with me. The ease of entry is there. All you guys again have to do is just purchase the game and pay $7.99 for that service. So, like if you're a content creator, that's a no-brainer. It's an easy way for you to get your community involved. It's geared towards YouTube and your community. I mean, honestly, like it's a no-brainer. If I was still streaming, I would definitely target Stadia because again, you guys can join me at a cheap price. You don't have to buy a system. You can play on your phone as long as you have the controller. You can play on your tablet. All you have to do is pay $7.99, and we don't know how Google is going to price it. It can be like Netflix where you pay $7.99, you have access to all these games, or it can be like GeForce Now where you have to purchase the game like on Steam, and then you have to pay for the service to play those games. We don't know. They haven't announced that yet. But whatever the price is, it's going to be a lot cheaper than going out buying a $400 console and then the game, and then you have to worry about installing the game, having the memory to do that, the space to do that, and then you have to worry about updates. With Stadia, you don't need to do that. You just instant click and you can be playing with me. So from a content creator side, it makes sense, and I feel like these content creators that say, "Oh, I'm not going to get Stadia, I'm not going to do all that." Watch, I guarantee you, when it comes out, they're gonna be on it because it's gonna help the community a lot. Just that's the way it is. Internet, I understand. I understand. Internet is the big barrier, and that's a problem that a lot of people have concern about. But I'm telling you, if any company can pull this off, it's Google. It's Google. Like they can put, and I'm really excited. Seriously, at the end of the year, I really want this to be in people's hands, and I want people like I can't wait to see the reviews of. I'm a true believer in this streaming because I've been using GeForce Now for a year, and I'm telling you, I don't have the best internet, but I have not had like a single issue with like hiccups. I use the server. I'm playing Devil May Cry on my GeForce Now. I played on my tablet. I played on my laptop. I played on my TV, and I haven't. I've played Fortnite. I've demoed that on the channel. You guys can look up the GeForce Now playlist and see those games. I've demoed those games that I'm playing. Is running through my internet. I'm streaming it through my internet. That's what GeForce Now is. So if I'm able to do that on a service like that NVIDIA's using. Imagine Google's infrastructure. It's definitely doable. I don't have the best internet, but it's working for me. With NVIDIA's infrastructure, with Google's infrastructure behind this, guys, like just serious potential here. So again, I'm excited by the end of this year when this is actually in people's hands and they've actually tested it out and they see that this concept works. I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be really interesting. So again, the future is interesting. It's really exciting. Um, let's see what happens. It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be done. All I have to say is don't get too comfortable with the three people who are in top now: Sony, Microsoft, and Microsoft might stay. Nintendo, I feel like this generation and maybe next, because they've found a good solution for the multiple screen problems, because you can take this anywhere. They found a good solution for that. But I feel like the future of gaming is playing games at any screen, at any time, at anywhere. And the Switch is currently kicking major behind with that right now. But it's going to be really interesting to see what the future holds. Anyway, that was the topic of this podcast. You guys had a lot to say. Sorry, I know this was like someone was saying they feel like I'm teaching, but I don't see anyone else talking about this stuff. It's like driving me crazy. All I'm hearing is like people saying, "Oh, this is not going to succeed." And just being a techie and following this tech and gaming for so long, like it's just it like blows my mind how people don't see this being successful. And I guess like just having access to GeForce Now already and seeing it work, and it's not one of these big three companies with big infrastructures. To me, it's like a no-brainer that this will not be successful. Google has the financial muscles to push this. They've hired Phil Harrison and the creator of Assassin's Creed to lead the game department. They are attending every trade shows. I don't know if you guys have been reading those articles. Every game show that happened, Google has been there for the last 2.5 years, just scoping things out. They're serious about this. Like they stated in the Stadia reveal, they were saying that most of the content that people watch on YouTube is gaming content. They see Amazon as a threat. They see Twitch as a threat. If you guys didn't know, right before Amazon purchased Twitch, Google was actually I'm sorry, in the bid to purchase Twitch, but they were shut down because the government thought that it was going to be a monopoly. Sorry, no, sorry, because of the success of YouTube. So they stopped Google from moving forward. So Amazon stepped in and purchased Twitch. So they see Amazon as a threat, they see Twitch as a threat. And this is, one of the ways that they can rival them to get people to stay on YouTube instead of move forward and go on Twitch. So again, pretty, pretty interesting times in gaming. Sorry, y'all. My throat. All right, so I'm just gonna read y'all's. It's it's 10 years too early, and this is if we had 5G stable, which we not. Yo, 5G is coming out this year too. Um, it's coming out this year. I mean, the Galaxy S5 has a 5G variant, and the Galaxy S10 has a 5G variant, and the Note 10 is gonna have a 5G. Once Apple pushes 5G in their product, it's gonna go mainstream like they're doing. They're just rumored about the next iPhone being a 5G phone. So 5G is kicking off this year, y'all. It's not too far away. Once it's done. Yo, it's not just me, bros. It's the video game market, man. Switch needs better FPS. I think it'll be interesting to see like the Switch revision as well. Netflix is understand, but a service where you can look at. Yeah, Grask, I see that, but again, if anyone can pull that off, it's Google. It's gonna be especially Pokemon. Everyone, but my mom won't let me max. Yeah, that's this just being real. Mortal Kombat is fun, but it's definitely rated mature for a reason. Nintendo has Zelda. Yeah, I answered that question. I'm about to make my own console take over. You should. You're making me sniffle with all you Oh, my bad, Maxwell. Sorry, guys. Not feeling too well. Good online games. I agree. We need Metroid Prime. Still play. Yep. So tired. Yeah. I Sniff, sniff. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I know I'm sniffing a lot. It's the worst, especially like when you're hosting a podcast. Apologize for that, y'all. But this podcast had to be done. Sorry, I'm fighting the cold. Stadia gonna end up like, ooh, yeah. You remember, ooh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. That's funny. I don't think so, though. What smells good? What you tell me what smells good. Um, I was listening and on my phone for like 20 minutes. Oh man. Yeah, guys. Again, I hope this podcast was informative. Again, this is one to just come back to. I would even say just at the end of this year after Stadia releases. Just come back to this. If Stadia holds up, if it can handle what Google promises, then you know we're in for a special treat. Groska was fun. All right, good, good. Yeah, no one, I seriously am like Googling, I'm on YouTube in this stuff to see if anyone is talking about this, but no one is. Honestly speaking, not to sound like cocky and thing, but I don't think like people know a lot about this stuff, and they just stay away because they don't know like have knowledge about this stuff. So but I feel like once it releases and once people get a hands on it and see that it actually works well, you see all these YouTubers covering this like it's nobody's business. All I gotta say state it is we'll see. Yeah, just have an open mind to it. Again, like you hear Play Essence, Spawn, Wave, RGT, they all like bashing it. I'm just like, guys, like, are you serious right now? Like, if this is not something to bash, this is something that can change the game, like really change the game. And the one company that have the finances and the infrastructure to do it is doing it. And instead of bashing it, like be open to seeing how it actually works before you batch it. But anyway, watch. Like I told you with these guys though, once one person tries it and once one person sees it successful, it's gonna make a video of it, and then you see RG3, you see what's beat 'em up games, they're all gonna copy that video and then it's gonna spread like wildfire like they always do. Just all it takes is that one person to say, okay, this works and it's good, and then they'll all copy the video. All it takes is one person to say it sucks and they all start bashing it, and that's what happened. One person said it sucked and they all start bashing it. But wait guys, wait, I'm telling you. Like, you'll see though, it's once people get to try it. I just again come back to this video end of this year, you see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm excited. You know me, I'm a techie. And this stuff like just gets me going. And so I'm like, I cannot wait to. I'm on the list too. To test this out. So not saying I'm gonna do a video about it, but I am definitely going to talk about it in the podcast after I've tried it and let you guys know what my thoughts are. But this stuff just gets me going, and I'm like really excited to test it out. But I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be incredible. Anyway, longest hell podcast talking about Stadia. Thank you guys for hanging in there and just uh you know engaging in conversations, man. Really appreciate it. It's always good talking with y'all, just kicking back, chilling with y'all. I'm interested to see for the people who listen to this afterwards what your thoughts are on the future of the next gen console. Um, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm excited for the PS5. I love Sony's first party exclusive. I just hope that they can cater to that um approach of playing your games anywhere. They tried with the PlayStation Remote Play, but It's a piece of crap. Hopefully, they can, I don't know what Sony's gonna do. Maybe make PS5 sounds. I love Sony. Sony's my, my go-to. I'm a Sony fanboy. Anyone who knows me will tell you that. I started. I mean, I didn't. The Switch is like my first entry to Nintendo after the 64. I wasn't too interested in GameCube. I bought GameCube, played Luigi Mansion, and sold it. Didn't touch the Wii. Didn't touch the Wii U. The Switch. Um, I wasn't gonna get it. I told myself I wasn't gonna get it, and then I went to Best Buy. I was picking up for a friend, and then I was like, I heard people talking about it. I heard people posting about Breath of the Wild, so I was like, shoot, why don't I just like try it? Open it, put Breath of the Wild, and was blown away by first of all the graphics, and second of all, what an amazing game that was, and I was instantly sold on the Switch. Um, Yo, Junior 2K, what's good? So, before that, though, was all about the PS4. I was all about it. So I want Sony to succeed. I don't want them to go the way of the dinosaurs, but I'm just from a business background, from knowing how quick technology changes. If they don't pick up, invest, be mindful of this competitions coming up, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Just being real, just being honest. All right, fellas, I think I'm gonna end this here though. Being going on for 71 minutes is crazy, but appreciate you guys commenting this video afterwards, and again, podcasts are gonna be just random days when I do have time. Just talk about things. It's always fun talking about it with y'all. All right, fellas, we'll catch you guys in the next video, next stream. Till next time, respect and salute. Later, y'all. It is a long podcast. Later.